Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Game Hub. I'm your host, Gamer K, and it is time again for Villain Month to continue. And this time, I'm doing a little bit of a different video with regards to villains. The Batman Arkham series is one of the best video games, superhero games in the history. And with Spider-Man 2 coming this week, although I'm waiting for my birthday to get it because my birthday is in November, so I need something to look forward to, and plus I need to take a break. I decided to come up with a theme that I haven't really done yet. I mean, I have done boss ranking videos, and lately I've been watching videos of other YouTubers come up with ideas of how certain things in games could be improved, and games have pre-existed. And honestly, one of the best things about the Arkham series are the villains, and in case the side quests in the games. And I'm counting, so we all have that one favorite side mission that we love to replay whenever we replay the games. We have that one that is so intricately annoying. You know what? I think maybe wait a minute. Favorite and non-favorite side missions. Oh, this opens up so many new avenues. So basically this video is basically all the side missions of the entire Arkham franchise and how the side missions could be improved. And yes, I'm counting every single one from Arkham City, Knight, and Origins, because Origins is technically part of the whole continuity. I'm not counting Arkham Asylum, considering the only side thing we have to do there, is the whole Riddler stuff, and that was done to perfection and opened the floodgates to how pissing annoying Riddler became throughout the series. So this is my video of improving all the Gotham's most wanted side missions. So basically, I'll be going through them all, talking about what we do, how they could be improved, and I'm going in order. So this isn't like a ranking video where the lowest one is the worst. No, I'm going in order, starting with Arkham Origins, mostly because, you know what? It's the first of the story-wise, so why not? And to start off, we've got, obviously, Enigma. Basically, the pre-Riddler, who is still Riddler, but he just... Yeah, it's basically just Riddler without being a Riddler, basically. And... okay, just had to double check my information because I hate being wrong, and I hate it when that annoying voice comes in and tells me that I screwed up something. So basically in this one, Enigma is basically jamming our ability to fast travel, which is the only freaking time in the Batman Arkham games where we actually use a fast travel, which honestly doesn't really make sense because we can glide. I don't know. So basically, in order to reconnect with each area, we have to disrupt the signal towers that he has, and then get into the giant tower by means of doing a kind of environment puzzle. And all the data packs can be found practically very simple. They're laid out all over the ground. They're not really hidden that much. You do need some gadgets in order to get certain data packs. There's 20 throughout the entire game, and basically that's it. And after we complete a tower area, he basically taunts us by saying he's smart, we're dumb, yada yada yada. But once we do complete him, we find his hideout where he scampered off, and we find blueprints for the Riddler trophy, and we collect our first Riddler trophy. The first of many that... it's so annoying. Yeah. But overall, it couldn't... the Enigma mission couldn't really be improved as much, because if you think about it, because if we do puzzles and riddles before he's Riddler, it just kind of doesn't fit the continuity. On the same side, we could have gotten a little bit more out of him, but again, it's still a side mission that makes me thank God of that we had this, because for doing Riddler, the entire Riddler thing 4 times rather than 3, unless you count Arkham VR, which I don't. Next, we're going to Anarchy. This side mission was actually pretty impressive. I did enjoy it. The fact that we had to stop his bombs from going off, first by defeating the thugs within a time limit, and then dismantling the bombs. And then after we do it in 3 different locations throughout the city, we go to the courthouse, in order to which honestly makes sense, to take out Anarchy and his goons. And then we find out basically he's just a teenager who's upset with the government and all the capitalists. One thing I really could have made Anarchy's mission a little better is if after we dismantle the bomb, we would get a little bit of information of Anarchy about himself and what his goal is, and we would have to track him down, because we don't really find out who he is until we confront him and everything. I mean, it could have given us a little bit more depth to him and allowed Batman to talk to him more. Although after the boss fight, he kind of sees Batman as a fascist and everything, so yay, Teenage Rebellion. Next is Penguin's Okay, that one wasn't my fault. The battery died, so I had to charge it while this is going, so my bad. So yeah, with Penguin, it's good, but at the same time, it's boring. Basically, Barbara tells us after we leave the police station that Penguin has weapon caches all over the city, and we have to do basically the same thing. Beat up thugs, use our disruptor to disable the lock so it destroys them for some reason, and also they all have a beacon on them for some reason. The only thing that's good about this mission is that we get information on Barbara. Like, she talks to us on what we're doing and how she wants to help us. And it kind of shows that Batman, you kind of need some help after a while. Like, the only thing that could really make this mission great is if afterwards Penguin finds out who's been helping us, gets some way of having Barbara kidnapped, brought back to the frickin' ship. Yeah, his ship that we did earlier in the game, and do a couple stealth sections, a couple beatdown missions, and then we save Barbara, and we take down Penguin. Like, where was this? Where was that? Where was that? That would have been so much better than literally just finding the area. Well, we don't even find them. They're literally placed on our map immediately. I mean, I'm just saying, make it a little bit more inventive if they could. Like, I'm just saying, I know they can't, but again, this is just my opinions. And next we have freaking Deadshot, one of the coolest assassins ever, and beaten to death because of Suicide Squad, Injustice 2, and of course, his lame battle in a city, which I will get to in a bit. But this one definitely has the cooler confrontation with him having the bank hostages and using his laser to beam around the entire room in order to find us. But we have to beat him down a couple times and then retreat, which I do freaking love the fact that some of his henchmen do take the hostages at gunpoint, so we gotta be stealthful about this whole thing, which, again, I do love. The only thing that sucks about this mission is that, unlike the Arkham City one, where where we hunt him down after he shoots 3 of the prisoners, and then we have to jolt off to save Jack Ryder. He shoots down the helicopter that we exit the building on. And, yeah, we follow his trail that he tells us that we're at the bank. Like, if they had done, if Deadshot had literally done a little bit more than just do the one crime scene investigation, and then we go right to the bank to finish him off, it would have been a little bit better. You know what? I'm not going to talk about, what is it called? Shot in the Dark for Arkham City. I'm just going to do them both here because they're basically the same thing. Arkham Origins, they did too short of an investigation and a great fight at the end. Where in City, they did a great tracking section with the crime scene, with tracking down where he shot from and tracing him. And they did a shitty confrontation. Seriously, one of the world's greatest assassins, and that's how you do him in Arkham City. And keep in mind, Arkham City came out before Arkham Origins. So, again, just switch up a little bit. Like, have the short confrontation be with have them both be long. Like, he could have been shooting at people in order to get Batman's attention. Like he basically kind of did in City, except he was actually taking down targets. But at the same time, could have been better, could have been a little bit better, but again, bang. And now we have one of the weakest ones ever, Shiva. Okay, no offense. I could have thought of a bunch of better villains that could have taken Shiva's spot. I mean, she's basically a downgraded Ra's al Ghul fight without the cool aesthetic. No, seriously, that's literally what it is. And her entire thing is to show Batman that you can let people die, which sucks, because that's not what Batman does. She puts up people in dire need and expects us to save them while defending against her legion. And then her boss fight is just painful. If there's one thing I hate in a boss fight is where they have lesser minions or enemies during the boss fight. I mean, I guess in the Batman games, they kind of do that a little bit. But Shiva could have been so much better. I mean, she's the second... at this moment, she's one of the League of Assassins' greatest warriors, and she's downgraded to a basic grunt boss fight, which sucks. Also, you get an achievement if you are able to complete her boss fight doing all parries and not missing a parry or not taking damage. Screw that. I hated that. I just did that for the Slade boss fight, which I'm never doing again. There's not much that I could say to how this boss fight or this mission could have been better. I mean, it kind of just is there. Shiva's just there. Doesn't really make herself prominent, which sucks. So, yeah, that's what I gotta say about that. Oh, there's my drink. Next up is, again, one of the worst things to happen in the Arkham series outside of Joker Titan, and... nope, worse, pretty much worse than that. We have Bud. I want my Bud. Okay, why am I going Mickey Rourke from Iron Man 2 right here? But yeah, every time I hear it, every time I played Arkham Origins and I heard his name, I instantly think Bud. So we hear about some goons of Bane going to the My Alibi nightclub, and we get in and we find this thug, and we basically do a swarm boss fight where it's goons, a Titan goon, and Bird, and it sucks. Because by this point in the game, you basically have the shock gloves, and you basically have every upgrade you can think of, and Bird is just there. Like, you could literally replace him with any no-name character, and that's it. He's basically Bane's lieutenant, but I don't see it. How could this mission be upgraded? You can't, because it sucks. That's all I gotta say. The only reason I'm talking about it is because it's laughable, it's boring, it's stupid, it's quick. I mean, you didn't need to have this. We could have had a different villain be in this. Literally. We could have had... I don't even know. Like, that's how lame it is. I can't even come up with a good idea. And I literally came up with an idea for everything. And almost winding down to the end of the Arkham Origins list, we've got the Mad Hatter mission, which I do like, because we get another great aspect, basically the Scarecrow level, but all Wonderlandish and twisted, and it's really fun, and especially the mirror puzzle kind of. But we literally take him out when he's got a woman held hostage who is literally dressed as his Alice. And this just goes to show how up Mad Hatter can be when allowed to be given a darker story. I mean, the story they gave him in Gotham was really, like, severely. But this one's a close second, because after we knock him unconscious, the way the girl's acting, it's heavily implied that he did something, which is sickening. I don't know how to make this side mission relevant. I mean, basically, we have his goons in the rabbit hats basically tell us that we're invited for a party, and we basically just go to him. Like, if they had not done that, and we just gotten this weird transmission of bodies being found with the Wonderland scheme, and we would have to triangulate where his broadcast signal is among the clatter, and the more people we find, the more people, the better our analysis would be. That would be been a better way, just rather than just going to him immediately. On a side note, another thing is that the people that we find, they should not dead, but kind of mentally, like, wrecked because of Mad Hatter's experiments. They could have been failures until he decided to finally perfect his mind control hats. And I think that would have been cool. I mean, do something similar to what he did in Arkham Knight in the DLC, which was boring, but at the same time, it still gave us something a little bit interesting. Oh, by the way, I will not be including the DLCs of Arkham Knight in this, because I already did my DLC review on them, and I'm not talking about them again. And we've got Black Mask, the literal villain of the game that isn't, but was advertised as it, which sucks, being nothing more than a low-level villain where we have to do the exact same thing that we did in Arkham City with the Titan mission, where we find the Titan throughout the game, blow it up, go back to Bane, and blow up the rest. Basically, that's all we do, and then we get a boss fight with him in the church. So basically, again, reusing areas from City, because it takes place in the same area, but still, it didn't need to be this. It literally didn't need to be this. Like, Black Mask should have been the big villain of it all. And have Joker come in, like, near the end because he hears about the bat and wants to see what he's made of. But they f***ed it up right from the get-go. The only way I could see this side mission being better... I don't know, honestly. I mean, maybe if they did something better with the Sciana steel mill, like have that be the final area instead of the church, and have Black Mask taken so many of his hostages. Also, we find out that there are some undercover cops within his gang, and we got to get to them before Black Mask finds out. Something like that. And now we get the worst one from Arkham Origins. We've got the prisoner break. After we beat the game, and after we do all of the most wanted, Gordon calls us in and says that a bunch of prisoners broke out during the riot with Joker at the end of the game, and we gotta find them. But luckily, they all have identification tags, so we can scan them and find them. So we gotta beat them up and knock them out. This is what you decide to do? You couldn't give us a villain that kind of comes in later in the show, in the games? Like, you could have done ventriloquist for something, or have a you know what? Honestly, I have no freaking clue what they could have done instead. I mean, there was better ideas than freaking having random generic prisoners, although we do get this one moment. Yeah, that's about the only good thing about that entire side mission, is getting that one bit. But again, you could have done a villain, like have a pseudo villain come back and become their own side mission instead of just giving us something generic. I mean, Calendar Man, for Christ's sake. I mean, he's in the second game. He's in this one in the beginning, and he escapes. So why not give him a side mission where it's Christmas time, so why not having him do some holiday murders and stuff like that? Like, come on! Do I have to think of this for you? And now we're done with Arkham Origins, and now we're going into the ones of Arkham City. I am really behind on all these, so I'm going to try to get past these as much as I can without any interruptions. Starting off Enigma Conundrum, after the first bit of the story, after the whole thing in the steel mill, giant Riddler, question mark, pushable button if you do the remote batarang on the church building where all the medics were, and Aaron Cash. Riddler takes them all, places them in random areas throughout the city, involving his death traps once we complete enough riddles, which I really enjoy. This is the only time other than Arkham Asylum, this is one of the few times where I actually enjoy finding all of Riddler's machinations and solving the riddles and solving those puzzle rooms. I mean, I did like the ones in Arkham Knight, but at the same time, these ones felt more unique once in a while. So, can't really change any of them there. Would have really enjoyed a bit more riddles that were maybe just a couple more riddles and everything. Like, just a little bit more. I know I'm saying a lot more riddles, but I'm just saying. And the final confrontation was great. Very, very fun to have to work on your feet and like just crawl around. It's a big stealth mission, trying not to get everyone killed. I love it. Then we have Identity Theft, which is one of the best side missions of all. Basically, we find guys who have bandages all over their face. They're dead. Parts of their face have been removed. What I like about this is only the first two are identified through us, and the third one is you need to actually glide throughout the city and look down in one of the alleyways to find the third one before you can advance. It took me a long time finding this one, and it's enjoyable. So I just gotta say that. And the whole reveal with being a small cutscene and Hush getting away after revealing his face. Really ingenious way of how to end a side mission, guys, and how to have it be really unique and kind of forward a story, even though you dropped the ball when it came to the Arkham Knight. I'll get to that when I get to it. And next we have A Shot in the Dark, which I already covered. Fragile Alliance. This is the Bane mission, where Bane sends a distress flare asking us to help to find the Titan so we can destroy it. He finds 6, you find 6, you destroy them, you return, do a little team up with Bane to defeat some of the militia, and, no, not the militia, the Tiger Guards, and then, of course, Bane tries to betray you, we lock him in an elevator room, and we blow up the rest of the Titan. What could have made this a little bit better is if I don't know how to make this one better. Fragile Alliance is a pretty solid side mission. I mean, yeah, basically we're just looking around the city and in specific areas for the Titan. But again, at the same time, it's not that difficult to do. So it's not like we're scourging every bit of the city. It's in big name areas like near the museum, near the steel mill, under Wonder Tower. So yeah, it's not like it's hide and go seek and destroy. Next, we got the Tea Party, where after we save Vicky Vale from being attacked, we see a small glimpse of the cutscene of Hatter putting on his hat, and then we get a side mission that the cure has been delivered, so we go to there, but it was just a subliminal messaging allowing Hatter to obtain us, and basically we just do a fight section in the Twisted Clock with this weird rabbit hat. And then we just beat the heck out of Hatter. Not much more than that. It's an okay side mission. Not really much in terms of how they could extend it. It did its job. It's a good one. The only thing I would have loved more is... I don't know. No, I think this one's is pretty spot on. It's pretty perfect in terms of what a side mission can be. Then we have Watcher in the Wings, and this one is fantastic. I'm trying to remember. I am trying to remember. Yeah, basically it's our first interaction with Azrael, which I guess is pretty good. Basically, he leaves us 4 symbols, and then when we get them all, we collapse them over the map, and it brings us to the church. Now that I think about it, Azrael comes out in all 4 main areas that were in the game. At the courthouse, after the steel mill, after the GCPD, after the museum. He's in all 4 main areas. So yeah, it's not that great of a cutscene, but then for people who played Arkham City right when it came out, around the time it came out, we were clueless about the messages he was leaving us, that basically leading up to Arkham Knight, which, great foreshadowing, guys. You did not disappoint there. The only way making Watcher in the Wings a little bit better is if we actually got to fight him one time he was at the top of the Ferris wheel, so no real way. But, like, after the first 2 times that we get it, we have to fight him first in order to prove ourselves to him. I mean, it would have been a short mini boss fight, but at the same time, we'd have at least gotten to fight him, which would have made it a little bit better, and so we would take his threats serious, because there's no way someone this serious is going to go down without a fight for what he believes in. I'm just saying it would have made it a little bit better. Hearts of Ice. basically, after the Mr. Freeze thing, we have to find his wife, Nora, who's being held by Joker's men at one of the warehouses in Joker's district. We find a way in. We defeat the thugs. We go back. We tell Freeze. And then we go back to the warehouse, and he's having a moment with his wife. Also, this unlocks a riddle, which, again, is good that we help Freeze reunite him. And that's the one thing I love about Freeze. Him and Batman have never been villain and hero. They've always been two guys who are trying to do right, but on the wrong side of the law. And that shows in Arkham Knight when Freeze is there and we help him out one last time. That's what I love about Freeze. He's not a villain. He's just a guy trying to save his wife. And it's a great moment. Also, one little detail that I love is that after we tell Freeze and we leave, if you look at the back of the GCPD building, you can see an ice path in the water that leads to the warehouse where Nora was, showing how Freeze got there, which is effing genius. It's a small little detail, but it adds continuity and story, kind of. Well, not story, but it adds a little bit of extra detail to show, because in side missions, whenever we tell a character where someone is, they magically get there if we teleport there. I'm just saying. It's a great detail. All honesty, I don't think this is another great side mission. I mean, it's not drawn out. It's not overly tacked on. It's just basic. Find her, beat up the thugs, inform him, and that's it. It's just a great, great side mission. Acts of violence. Basically, throughout the whole Arkham City, we will be hearing thugs, not thugs actually, just random people who Strange put into Arkham City who are getting beat up by the thugs. Do enough of these and you'll complete the side mission. Yeah, we're just saving people from thugs. That's literally what Batman does. Hoorah! Wish they would have done that in Arkham's Knight, having actual people in the frickin'... Like, why did they need to evacuate everyone? Seriously, why did they need to evacuate everyone in Arkham Knight? They did not. It would have made Batman feel a little bit more pressure having people there, so he would have to save them. Not just doctors, not just scientists, not just random people. Random people were still there because of the Professor Pig thing. But my point is, they could have done a little bit more in Arkham Knight in this way. Having innocent people there guarantees Batman's going to stay. Just a point of order. And then we have Remote Hideaway. This didn't need to be a side mission. This could have been literally after we finished the ice with the museum. Basically, at the Iceberg Lounge, we get a call from the undercover cops that they found something for us. We defeat the thugs on the outside of the Iceberg Lounge entrance, which is on the side of the frickin' museum. And then the police officer opens it up for us, and we get an upgrade for our weapon disruptor, and it works on the mines, which we need for puzzles. That's literally what we do. Literally all we do. It's one of those missions that didn't need to be a mission. It could have been like a small thing, but they end up making it a whole mission. And by that, I mean, again, just beat up and go inside and get the item. Could have had another villain be involved with this, but no. And then we have Hot and Cold, which is another one that didn't need to be a goddamn fucking side mission. It could have been an extra thing that we get. So during the final bit, the final part of the steel mill, Joker's hideout, Harley is tied up and gagged with tape. Okay, I'm starting to think, after saying that, a bunch of my cosplay friends are thinking of a different kind of photo shoot. Because a lot of them do Harley. Me and my big mouth. Basically, she tells us that they got something of Freeze's in the boiler room. We go down, we get it. It's basically a cluster grenade, a freeze cluster grenade, which doesn't need to be a side mission. Again, 2 side missions in this game are basically just getting weapon upgrades with no real side mission value of it, which sucks. How could this be done? This could have been added to Hearts of Ice. Once we find Nora Freeze requests us to give him our freeze grenade, so he implements a different container around it, so you can either do the freeze grenade itself, or you can set it as a mine for a cluster grenade, as thanks for saving Nora. Seriously, why wasn't that the thing? Seriously, oh boy. And we have one of the best ones in Arkham City, Cold Call Killer, with everyone's favorite lunatic, Victor Zsasz. Basically, he's got a couple of innocent people locked up in his area. His hidden lair. And we basically gotta do the whole phone booth call game where we have to trace his signal through multiple different calls, and we'll hear the phone ringing every time whenever we're near one, and we'll have to zip through across Arkham City in order to get to the next one within a time limit. And I do love this. One thing I love about this is that we get to hear Zaz's backstory, where he wasn't always the way he was. He was a rich guy who basically took his parents' money and started gambling it, which he was good at until he got to the Iceberg Lounge and got to Penguin's table. And you guys ever wondered, if you paid attention, you ever wondered why in the game Penguin has a glass in his eye that kind of looks like a monocle, but it's permanently stuck in there? Yeah, Zsasz did that when he talks. And then a mugger wanted the rest of his money, so Zsasz killed him, and he felt release. And then there's his hideout which is really creepy, where we have to sneak around and get to Zsasz without him seeing us, or else he'll the hostages. And also in here, we also have a riddle to find, which is interesting. There's no real way for Zaz's whole thing to be even better, because again, this is a prime example of how to do a great side mission for a terrifying villain. And now we're into Arkham Knight. One second, guys. We're starting off with Riddler's Revenge. I like that he caged up Catwoman with that lovely collar. I mean, hell, Bruce isn't buying her anything pretty to put around her neck or her ring finger. And they bullshitted that entire thing of what happens in the end. But guaranteeing that Batman plays his games really works. And okay, I'm gonna be honest, I do love the Riddler stuff in Arkham Knight. I do. Okay, you know what? I saw this on TikTok a couple of months ago, and I'm just gonna place this clip of someone doing this. And yeah, this basically is simple.
If I ever find one of these lying around again, I swear to fucking God, I will stop being so polite. Get the fuck out of my sight before I demolish you.
Yeah, that pretty much sums up everyone who played Arkham Knight a good number of times, I'm just gonna say. But after we do a couple of them, actually, you know what? That's the thing. All we gotta do is do all of his obstacle courses with the Batmobile, and then do the ones in the orphanage with Catwoman. And then once we get out, we have to collect all the Riddler and trophies and everything. And I gotta admit, these ones were the ones that gave me the biggest head scratching. I mean, I mean, normally I would have gone on YouTube and figured out how to do these, but I actually use my intelligence of my own intelligence. And again, I know people didn't like the racetracks with Riddler, and I'm definitely one of those people. It's not my strong suit, but doing the puzzles with the Batmobile, like the drain one where we hang the Batmobile off and shoot off into the areas and rotating the columns in order to get the correct wall, that was ingenious. I really enjoyed it. And then just getting to beat the crap out of Riddler for once was joyful. And having Best Cat Girl come back and save us, which was awesome. And then we get the best kiss out of any Batman game, because I believe that's the only one, which sucks. Anyway, nothing really to add to this. Just maybe if they got rid of the... Okay, actually, you know what? I just remember this. In some of the... to get the Riddler trophies, we do actually have to race across the town, either with our gliding or the Batmobile, which sucks. If we replace those with Riddler rooms that required the Batmobile, but not with racing. Why did they include racing in this? This is Batman, not Need for Speed. Continuing on, we've got The Perfect Crime, which is definitely sickening. I do love having the bodies displayed and having the imperfect words written about them, and for having them literally having us investigate each part of the character of the victim to find their imperfections, to find out where they were, to identify them, which I like. Having their faces be dismembered and their fingerprints being destroyed, absolutely perfect. A great side mission. And I didn't know about Professor Pig until this game. And then Gotham, which they did him even more sickeningly, which is hilarious and disturbing. And also the fight with Dollatrons and Pig is disturbing enough. I never play Arkham Knight without the lights on. I'm just going to say that right now. But at the same time, it's great. A couple things could have been added, like, 6 victims. Adding too much would have felt the whole thing be dragged on. Maybe adding, like, an extra 2 just to make it an even 8. Okay, yeah, 6 is an even number, but I'm just going to say that. What's next? The Line of Duty. A lot of people hated the Line of Duty. I really enjoyed it, having to save all the firefighters. There's a lot of them. And they range from doing beat-up missions to doing the stealth sections. And I like that, how it's all, like, it's not both. It's some of them are all throughout the city in different areas, so we really have to search for them. Which, again, I like. I really enjoyed it. And plus, after we save them, they all give us a little bit of story of why they're all still here. And then some of them give hints about an arsonist that they're trying to find. I'll get to that later in a sec. And then once we find more of them, like, if you're not a complete moron, you can kind of see the whole story. And then once we find the chief, which is the biggest one to do the stealth section, which is great. The chief kind of tells us that he was working with someone in order to give their department more work because they were about to be shut down, which I do like it. He's not a villain trying to do anything for himself. He's looking out for his firemen. And yeah, at the end of it, even though they know what he did, they still know he's a good person. He just did the wrong thing for the right reason, kind of thing. Speaking of which, we are on the next one. Gotham's on fire with the arsonist, Firefly. So basically, Chief Underhill was giving Firefly access to old buildings in Gotham who didn't have updated fire safety mechanics, that were easily to be destroyed. And he's been setting the fires in order to make the firefighters have work so they can be heroes and be needed, which is great. And Firefly, great boss. In Origins, in this, it's basically Batmobile, chase him down, dodge his fire attacks, get up close to him, and launch ourselves to beat him up. Do this 3 times, and Firefly is done. Which sucks, because he was a great... he was a great boss in Origins. And even when we first see him, he canons Arkham Origins events, which is awesome. One thing that this fight could have been, this side mission could have been done a little bit better. I'm going to say, instead of just finding the buildings on fire and putting them out with the Batwench and basically having Firefly come out of hiding and chasing him, what if we investigated fires, found the accelerants and the mechanisms that he used, which triangulates where we can do a sensor, a scanner throughout the city in order to find a big production of all the chemicals that he needs. Because one chemical isn't, finding a vast quantity of one chemical isn't going to be, accurate. So doing a majority of the chemicals that he uses for his incendiary devices would work. So we would find him, track him down, and then we do the chase scene. Once in a while, he could come out after we solve the case and taunt us with his flamethrower, involving us to get out. Or to have a mini-boss fight there. And then we do the big chase thing after we find his stronghold and destroy it with all of his chemicals. Next, we got Gunrunner, which is basically having Nightwing help us track down some of Penguin's arms that he is shipping into Gotham from Bloodhaven. Which I love that once we find the truck, we place a tracker on it, let them drive, go up to the city skies, and just follow them to the safe houses. And again, this is a perfect tailing mission without using the frickin' Batmobile, which I love. Maybe I should do a tailing video, a tailing side mission video, or tailing in gaming. Maybe. But again, I can't say anything that would make this mission great. I mean, we get to screw around with Penguin. We get to have fun with Nightwing. We get to have a great tailing mission that isn't boring as shit. Which, again, is great. Two-Face Bandit. Basically, Two-Face's goons are attacking the banks. We get to do amazing amounts of beatdowns and fear takedowns while the sirens are going. But once enough people are gone, they turn off the sirens, and then we have to play stealth. And activating the die pack rooms, the electric fence, the electric floors, doing all that stuff to help elevate our abilities and to create great takedowns is great. And then taking down Two-Face in the biggest bank in Gotham. I mean, it's good, but at the same time, I wish there was more to it. Like, maybe Two-Face, like, once we take down the final bits of the guards, Two-Face, we get a cutscene where Two-Face has a hostage at gunpoint, and he's about to flip his coin. And yes, I'm stealing the scene from Batman Telltale because that was fantastic. Batman basically, like, right when he flips it, we do, like, this QTE section where Batman zips down, grabs the coin from him, and Two-Face starts going a little crazy, telling us to give him the coin to show us what it was. And we just keep holding it in our hand, telling Harvey to make his own decision. And that's when he would literally break down, just like in Batman Telltale, saying that he doesn't know what to do. Like, it's too much to make a choice on his own without the coin. So his two halves are bickering back and forth, what to do. So then we knock him out, and then we say, I was trying to help you, Harv. Like, it would have been great. It would have been a little bit more, a great emotional moment, because Bruce and Harvey used to be allies. So it would have worked. And now we have Heir to the Cowl, which, okay, yeah, doing the whole, having the whole Azrael training missions not getting hit once thing is actually pretty great. And then scanning his memory for some reason is a thing. But the one thing I don't like about this side mission is that even after all we did, we still are given a choice to either let Lane break his oath to the Order and be his own person, or take him in because he tries to strike us down. Why give us a choice? The obvious solution is to lock the guy up. I don't care. That's what people doing their own choices are for in on YouTube. I don't ever let him get away. Ever. So yeah, the only way that this could have been made better is if, eliminate the whole choice. Just have him try to, even though with all the knowledge he has that he could have been manipulated. Again, he just attacks Batman because he's been brainwashed and he fully believes in the Order of Saint Dumas. We could have had him grab us, and we go out of the clock tower and we get one final fight with him, which would have been great. We never got to fight Azrael in these games, which it would have made for a great boss fight to end the side mission. Now we have Creature of the Night. Oh, look, the jump scare that literally made me almost shit myself. Am I joking? That's up for you to decide. The Batman bat scare was the biggest thing in the game, and I loved it. And having to listen for him, that screeching, gave me a little bit of anxiety because it looked so freaky the way they did it. Finding the lab and doing that small DNA modification thing was great. But what made it creepy was having the recording of what happened to his wife and the whole thing continue to play while we do it on a continuous loop. And then when we go back near the end of the game, it's got my beloved blood smear. Her body's gone. So I have no clue what the hell happened there. And then later on, just finding Man Bat throughout the island and just listening for him and hoping to God you don't get scared by him again. Again, not a boss fight, but what could have made this a little bit better? I mean, yeah, we get the blood sample from him, we do the DNA, we inject him with the serum twice. I mean, no, actually, this was a great side mission. Didn't draw out, didn't require us to use the Batmobile, allowed us to be in the sky and just find him ourselves, either by listening to him, using detective mode and having him be flagged. Perfect. Lamb to the slaughter. Basically, filler. Near the end of the game, Jack Ryder is finishing up on his story that we get as we talk to him throughout the game. Annoying jackass, I'm just going to say. About this religious cult, and he has this book and knife that he found. And for some reason, he goes to the giant statue that's basically Lady Liberty of Arkham, where this psycho cult guy is about to sacrifice him in this makeshift electric cage ceremony thing. Basically, fight all the guys, throw them against the electric fence, use the RC gun to destroy the shocks. It's boring. It's absolutely boring. No reason for this guy to exist. No reason for him to be in this game. If you're going to do a villain, it would have worked if it was Anarchy. If Anarchy came back, this is what it would be for. Instead of having the cult, the religious cult Ryder's investigating, Ryder could have been investigating some tips about some bombings that happened a couple months back. And then, after figuring out too much, he decides to go investigate. Anarchy holds him hostage at the statue in the middle of the city on the water. And Anarchy basically tells Batman to, like, at the very top of the statue to prove that he's a hero and let him kill the hypocrite that Jack Ryder is, which I fully get that. We fight his thugs. We zipline all the way to the top before time runs out. We stop the kid and we put him away. So much better than Deacon Blackfire. Just saying. We're almost at the end of the list. Armed and Dangerous. Which one's that? Okay, basically, I'm gonna lump all three of these together because they're basically the same thing. It's when the militia takes control of the of the areas in the city, and we gotta liberate them, Assassin's Creed style. Basically, disarming the road barricades so we can go with the Batmobile. The watchtowers, which is awesome stealth sections. And then we have the landmine sections where we're trying to hack into the landmines that will detonate while doing the drone fights. Okay. Armed and Dangerous, the landmines, great concept, done a little bit too much. And then near the end of the game, they add a couple more before we can fight Deathstroke, which sucks. On the roads, the barricades, not all of them are the same. Some of them are out in the open. Some of them are secluded in like small sections where we have to really use our heads of how to take them out. Armed and Dangerous is the convoys that we do, where we have to get the convoys, race after them, shoot them with our missiles, and ram into the other vehicles in order to stop the transportation of the militia soldiers. And yeah, all four of those are basically hell-bent late in the game to allow Deathstroke for us to fight him in the stupid tank fight, and then we don't get to fight Deathstroke. So all four of the side missions together are good. The convoy ones, worst one, hate constantly doing it, and they just come out of nowhere. The mines were still bad, but we get drone fights out of it, so that's fun. On the roads, clever, makes me have to think about how to get rid of them. Occupy Gotham, having the sky bases, basically not allowing us to glide as much as we want. Great side mission. And now we have Friend in Need, which is a one-off side mission where an intruder has been notified a little bit earlier on in the game at Wayne Tower. Then we go in through the elevator. We have a cutscene where Bruce accessing account, and it turns out it's Hush trying to get revenge on Bruce for, his family basically saving his parents when they died. Well, saving his mother at least, not his father. Implementing Elliot wanted his parents dead so he could claim their inheritance and having a grudge against Bruce. And then that whole thing of having Lucius at gunpoint. Seriously, gunpoint is a lot in this freaking series. And then having us reveal who we are in order to do a cutscene where we knock him the f*** out. This could have been so much better. I mean, Hush was basically the villain that got away in Arkham City, and you use him as a one-off villain where he gets beaten up so easily? Really? What we could have done is that we could have had this done like right by this, not at the beginning of the game, but somewhere in the middle. A side mission where a couple of areas around the city have been vandalized or almost destroyed, and Batman had to investigate. Upon realizing, like, not fully realizing it, but most of the areas where the damage was were Wayne-owned properties. And they would be spread throughout the city, and then Hush would hire some goons to have some hostages at one location where he's just buying time for him to sneak into Wayne Tower, and then we get the whole shit with Hush. I mean, obviously, Bruce won't figure out it's Hush until, like, near the last bit of the hostage situation, where he puts together that all, like, the people who are hostage are Wayne employees of Wayne Industries, Wayne Industries. Have them be hostages from there to showcase his grudge against Wayne. And then Bruce puts it all together, like, all the properties were owned by the Wayne Corporation and the Wayne Foundation, buildings that the Wayne Foundation rebuilt and helped as a grudge. And then we're led to maybe they do something having the Elliott Memorial Hospital. I mean, I know it's a riddle and it's used for the Shadow Wars DLC. But have us go there to find like to find a body, and that's when it sinks in that it is Hush. And then that's when we get the notification of Wayne Tower is being something's going on in Wayne Tower. And that's when we do the whole thing, and that's when Bruce figures out what Elliot did. It would have made a lot better sense than just having us go there and that's it. A one-off that could have been so much better. And that's how I'm going to end this video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed my long rant and all my ideas for all these side missions. Thank you for joining me and enjoying this video. Like, comment, subscribe down below. I don't know if I'm going to be doing another video like this for a while, but next week we end Villain Month before All Hallows Eve. And how we're going to do that? By talking about some of the mostest. Let's see. No, wait. What was the joke? Oh, right. Join me next week where we end Villain Month before All Hallows Eve, as we take a look at some of the ghostists some of the ghosties with the mostest. Man, okay, seriously, that sucked. Do we got any better jokes? Are we hollowed out? You know I got this from Spirit. Do I have to sing Opera Phantom? Boo! Hopefully that worked. This is Gamer K, logging out.